Foos, you look good. You look good, Foos. All right, guys. It says we are live. We are live.
I'm going to switch to my computer.
Is it what? You do that. You do you, Foos. You do you. All right, guys. So, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Caliber Corner, episode number 102. I think I actually got my voice back. What's that, Foos? What's going on?
Why?
What happened? Did he just disappear? Did he just take himself out of the chat?
I don't even know if that was English.
I don't know. What was he? I was talking over him, so I don't know what just happened there. This is going to be an exciting episode. There's a lot of hijinks and stuff, so I don't know. So, hey guys, I want to welcome everybody to Caliber Corner episode number 102. My cold is about 90% gone, and the majority of my voice is back, so I can bring back that silky smoothness to the microphone for everybody. We're going to go and get started here. Tonight we're going to talk about training on no budget, and I'm going to give you guys a quick little Taurus G3 update. Real quick, let's just see who's joining us, and then we'll let the panel introduce themselves. So it looks like we got Patrick over there on the YouTube side. We got 10X shooters in the house. Jason Stewart's with us. Texas Blade, Snob's Wife 76. Darren Blair checking in from Bellevue, Nebraska. Hello, Darren, another fellow Nebraskan. Welcome to the club, buddy. Vandaliska Vlogs in the house. Tacos and French fries. 2 Live Moo. Liberty's Warrior. Scott P79. Travis T. What is up, Travis? Welcome to the club, buddy. Ghost Tacticals with us tonight. Yoder, Texas. Snob's Wife. Jason Stewart is out there. Torrin Rodriguez is joining in. Snob's Wife 76. I miss anybody? That might be everybody. Gives her Gary out there and over here. And then there's finally me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Hope you guys are having a great day today. It is Monday. What is it? Is it September 16th? Monday, September 16th. And let's get this party started. So first of all, we're going to let the panel introduce themselves. Go ahead and plug their channels and let us know if they got anything coming up on the channels out there. Gizzard Gary, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you for the invite, sir.
All right. You want to go ahead and get a plug in for your channel?
Yeah, the channel's Gizzard Gary, gizzardgary.com. I host Foul Territory on Friday nights and the Early Bird Chat on Sunday mornings. Love having you all to my show.
Cool, man. All right. And he is the authority on the Taurus TX22. Check out his channel, guys. He did some great videos on that pistol. I want y'all to check it out. Hey, we got another person checking in from Norfolk, Nebraska. Ronald Robertson's out there. Greetings from Norfolk. Hello, Ronald. Welcome to the party, bud. And AWAG is out there. And AWAG, I think you're here. We'll find out.
Here.
He is here. Hey, AWAG, why don't you go ahead and give us a little plug for the channel? What's going on, man? How you doing?
Y'all can check out my channel, even though I don't have anything up there. I've actually switched all of my stuff from private to link only. So if you have, I'll occasionally post links on, I guess, Never Enough Ammo's Discord here and there. Other than that, my channel is kind of out for a bit, but okay. I actually am quite glad that we're talking about training on no budget today. So
yeah, I'm discovering there's a lot of great resources out there, and there's some relatively inexpensive resources out there. And training can be expensive. Good training can be expensive, and there's a lot I think a person can do to educate themselves. And I'm not saying it's better. All right, I'm just saying that it's an option, right? So it's always good to get that out there. So heck yeah, man. All right, Squibby. Squib, what's going on, brother? Are you out there, Mr. Squib? Squiblift in the house. Did he just disappear? He just took himself out? Well, he either comes by as Squib or Squiblift. I never know exactly what his call sign is, so I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. All right, moving on.
Squiblift. Okay.
Yeah, Squiblift. Yes,
I thought you said Squib lit, like a
Squid is always
squid.
Lit, bro. Squid is always lit.
I thought you said lit, too.
Lit is Squib's middle name. Speaking of which, Squib is back. So, Squib, you want to go ahead and give us a plug for the channel? Maybe, possibly, don't know. No? All right, well, we'll come back to you, Squib, when you get a chance, buddy. All right, Sandals is in the house. Sandhill Shooters out there. What's up, Sandy? How you doing, brother?
Hey, I am on mobile, and I can't see the I can see the comments out in the chat, but I can't keep up very well, and I can't type, apparently, on mobile on the YouTube chat. So, okay. Who's out there representing from my town?
Was it Ronald Robertson? Greetings from Norfolk.
What's up, Ronald Robertson from across town? That's awesome.
You guys ought to meet up and go buy some ammo together or something.
We could do that. I was in Walmart, but I didn't buy any ammo.
Calm down, Foos. Calm down.
That voice sounds familiar. Is that a Spring Hill shooter?
Nope.
Oh man.
Nope. I've never shot a Spring Hill in my life.
Never shot a spring.
I
Oh.
shot many sandhills. Usually I try to shoot like deer, but sometimes I miss and the bullet hits a sandhill. So I have shot those. Thanks for the invite, Travis. And anybody that wants to find me can go to Sandhills Shooter on YouTube or Facebook and check out all the cool, fun, and very poorly produced stuff that I have over there.
Oh man, come on, give yourself, dude. You make great videos. Give yourself some credit for once, dude.
Also, join us Tuesday nights, 9:00 Central Time for 2A Tuesday. We might have an announcement coming up tomorrow night on maybe a possible name change for the podcast. But tomorrow night sounds like we're going to have kind of a pretty good discussion. So it should be good for everybody to be there.
Cool. All right, make sure you guys check it out. And his show's on right after Tuesday night, Hit or Miss with Night Strike. Hit or Miss, 9:00. That's right. Make sure you check it out. All right. Moving on. AWAC, what's up, brother? How we doing, man?
I'm pretty good. I mean, I already introduced myself, so other than that,
excited? Yeah.
Super duper excited because the Supra's finally coming together.
So you're super duper excited.
Super duper.
Super duper excited.
Yep.
All right.
It's all good,
man. That's all.
It's all good.
Cool, man. All right. You should switch over to car videos instead. God knows we all get more video views if we did that.
Yeah,
Trying
true.
way too hard.
True.
Trying way too hard, man. Hey, real quick, Tacos, we'll answer your question here in just a few minutes, okay? We'll get back to you on that one. All right, man. Okay, moving right along. Foos. The Foos is loose. Foos, what's up, brother?
Howdy.
Dude, that's a fantastic looking beard you got going on there. I will be starting growing mine out in approximately 4 weeks from today. I will be growing out the beard again. So,
yep. All right. Yeah. I grew it, shaved it, and said I got lazy one
morning. That's all it takes. One morning.
No, it takes me about a month to do anything.
Well, you just decide, you know what, I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Poofed out. So good. Yeah.
So yeah, it's going. I got a lot of info on shooting or training without any ammo, so that's good.
Yeah, there's a lot, and some of yourself that competes, what do you do? So real quick, we do have a question that I would like to just maybe run this through the panel. You guys can chime in on this one. Tacos and French Fries had a question. Can you give me a good recommendation for a mid-price AR? Now, Tacos, you got to understand, you can spend whatever you want on an AR. I'm assuming you're talking like maybe 700 to 1,000, maybe 500 to 1,000, anywhere in there. I'll just throw this one out right now, Tacos. I say you go with
Palmetto State,
but with the FN barrel, the Cold Hammer Forged FN barrel, and then just get whatever lower you want. Maybe, the money you save on that, maybe put in a nice trigger, get yourself some nice furniture for it. I mean, otherwise, there's a ton of great brands out there. Let's see, Squib's not here, but I think Squib's a big fan of Aero Precision. But you have a lot of options, but I would say PSA is pretty good. I'm a big fan of Bear Creek Arsenal, but their stuff's not expensive at all. If you step up, otherwise you're looking at going like 900 if you want to go with a Colt or a SIG.
No, stick with your DI guns. Stick with Palmetto State. They're, the main
Colt would be DI, like a Colt LE,
Right, but I mean, the main thing about an AR is the bolts and the barrel. Everything else doesn't matter. If your bolt and your barrel are good, because that's the only thing that matters in the firing.
Well, you don't want junk components. You don't want them putting trigger packs in from wish.com,
Well, no, but I mean, I'm just saying straight mil spec is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You can home smith that a little bit yourself, or you just dry fire a lot, which we'll talk about later, and wear it in naturally, and just like go out to PSA, buy lower, buy an upper, and then while you're out there, get some P mags and ammo and go.
Here's a good one. Liberty's Warrior. I got a Savage Patrol, dude. I love those. Their series of rifles. Yeah, Savage right out of the box. That's perfect, ready to go. Liberty's Warrior, are those $800, $750, somewhere around there? What do those run? I know they've got some nice furniture on them. They got some good accessories that come with them. So definitely check out the Savage. I always forget about the Patrol series are good too. So, all right. So Ronald Robertson says, I'm now. He's okay. He thought he was having some serious health issues. He's having a hams. Hey man, that's a great way to calm down. So there you go. Match bolt to barrel headspace. All right. So Yeah, let's just get right into the idea of training. I've got a lot of little points that I wanted to bring up, and we'll try to be done by 7:30 to get you guys out of here to go check out Guns and Geeks over there on Never Enough Ammo's channel. Training on a budget. So the first question I would throw out there to the panel and anybody watching this, is training really necessary as a firearm owner? Going beyond, say, your concealed carry course, or going beyond just a range trip or two to get to learn how to use your firearm. Is training really necessary? What's going to be the benefits of it? You know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
Absolutely. If not, you know, let's say you don't want to take and put rounds on paper. You could still practice your draw, practice getting a good sight picture, practice your first round, you know, pulling of the trigger, make sure that sight doesn't move. Make sure you look to a spot and that gun naturally comes to you. If you have an extra reload, you know, concealed carry an extra reload, have that extra reload and stick it in there with dummy rounds, you know, stuff like that. Just gun handling, if anything else, because that is one thing that you want to be 100% natural, because if you are in a time where you need to use that, all that stuff, you don't want to have to be thinking about it. You want it to be natural. You want it
muscle
to be
memory.
Yeah. To put layman's terms, yeah. And that, you know, I'm coming from an sports shooting aspect. It's the same thing. When that beep goes, I don't want to have to be thinking about, oh, does my index on my gun or on my magazine, is all that right? You know, all the little itty bitty stuff. I don't want to have to worry about that. You want to be able to look and have rounds go where you look, and that all is done dry fire. The only live fire you absolutely need is to confirm your dry fire skills. That's it. There's very little that you actually need ammo for.
Okay, so I mean, you know, I say zero budget. This is for maybe somebody who's just getting into shooting, wants to be a good shooter. Somebody might want to get a competition someday. Maybe somebody just has their first firearm, and you know, they don't realize that there's a whole other world out there that can make you much more proficient shooter, or they just don't have the money to go, say, do a 4-day course or 3-day course or whatever. You know,
gun handling's gun handling, whether it's in a competition world or not. There used to be a big difference between sports shooting and the quote unquote tactical or, you know, sheepdog world.
Mm-hmm.
You start to look at it in the past 4 or 5 years where they're starting to intermix. There's not much. The difference is tactics. So what I would say is go out and get a dry fire book, whether it be something JJ Ricaza put out, Ben Stoger, there's Steve Anderson. There's so many dry fire books. And get something fairly recent. Don't go back to the 80s or 90s because stuff has changed.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I was going to say, for free resources, you might go to your local library and just go through their firearms section or self-defense section, you know, or next to the karate books from the 1980s, you know, and you'd be like, oh, hey, here we go, you know.
So spend $35 or $40. That's about the price of an extra magazine. And get a dry fire book and just
snap caps, get some snap caps. So,
well, you don't have to. I mean, a lot of times, run your gun empty or find a reloader and say, hey, can you make me a dummy round, which is they'll have a bullet and a case, no powder, no primers.
Yeah.
Easy. That's what I use. And just do everything with an empty chamber.
Sandhills, were you going to say something, buddy?
Well, you just said something about the karate books from the 80s, and I thought Mr. Miyagi said you can't learn karate from a book.
No, so wax on. You got to wax his cars, man. You got to wax his cars. You have to, you know, practice catching flies with chopsticks and stuff. So, so what is the minimum training that you guys think a person needs? Is it just adequate for most people just to go through their concealed carry course, maybe go to the range once a month? I mean, obviously, you know, you'll be able to maybe handle a situation better if you've got the training. What do you guys think? Should a person look into doing something to maybe enhance their shooting ability? I mean, what do you guys think?
What is this training that you speak of?
Oh, I'm talking about maybe going to like a defensive handgun course, like for 4 or 5 hours with an actual instructor, or
does anybody
doing drills, or what's that?
I bought a gun and I bought some ammo and I watched a YouTube video on how to load it.
Right.
Do I need anything else?
That's the question I'm asking tonight. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I can tell you I've taken – go ahead.
Is it required to do something else? No.
No.
Just carrying it, and your body will know what to do. But to gain that extra, let's say if I go from concealment, my draw maybe 1.5 seconds to a 7 to 10 yard target. If I could break that down from a 2.5 second draw to a 1 second draw, you could put off 3 to 4 or 5 rounds in that extra second. So it's not a race to begin the fight; it's a race to end the fight or end the stage or end whatever it is out there.
When it comes to training with firearms, I've told people before it's a lot like driving a car. You have to know a little bit. I mean, you have to go through just a minimal amount of training just to get your driver's license, right? You have to prove that you are at least you have the aptitude to drive the car, pass the test, pass the driving portion, and then after that, you don't ever have to drive again. As long as you keep passing your eye test or written test, whatever's required in the state, you don't ever have to drive again to keep that driver's license, right? But you're never going to be a good driver. And if you are about to embark on a cross-country road trip, then I would suggest getting a lot of experience just driving around. The more you drive, the better you get at driving. And shooting, especially concealed carry and drawing from concealment, it's a lot. There's a lot to think about. Just with the general rules of firearm safety, plus you throw in a cover garment, you throw in the mechanics of a draw, all that stuff. And then if you try to simulate, some adrenaline or something like that, where you run in place or you do, laps or whatever, or you have to, whatever you do to get your heart rate up and kind of simulate an adrenaline rush. I mean, that all figures in. It's a lot, but so's driving a car.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got, the steering wheel, pedals, gauges, blinkers, mirrors, looking at, 360 degrees as much as you can around you, watching every car around you, not just driving for you, but driving for them. It's a lot, but we all do that. Most of us do that every day now, and we don't think about it. We just do it because it's automatic with all the practice that we've done. And shooting will get there too, but only with practice and only with experience does anything become easy.
Got a lot of good comments rolling in over here on the YouTube side. Darren Bear says shooting is a perishable skill. Torrin Rodriguez says he does 3 hours of training per week, 1 hour handguns on different varieties, shotgun about an hour, and different rifles, lever action, bolt action, semi-automatic an hour. Bullseye shooting, dry fire is the best practice. It's free. Somebody else had mentioned, let's see, New York Outcast says nope, they should shoot as much as they can, so using it's like a fork, thoughtless. Who says he has 0 hours training. You can get good if you practice with your handgun or your firearms and you become much more proficient with them and you put yourself through some basic drills and stuff. I mean, you can definitely get up there. Two Live Moose says use dummy rounds to practice on clearing malfunctions. That's a good one to do. Definitely.
And these dry fire books, they are going to be more for, like, if you would go that way, they are more for pistol, but that doesn't mean you can't do the same drills with your AR, AK, 308, lever gun, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just do it, get accustomed to it, make sure you're looking at the right thing. And, you could even go out and get, scaled targets. People are like, oh, you just look on, a corner of your door or light switch. Yeah, that'll get you going. But, having a target out there, something to actually bring your eye and attract your eye is a good thing too.
Oh, definitely. That's a good idea. Texas Blade said them laser kits look good to practice at home. I haven't tried it though. Is it Laser Light that makes one? I think G-Webs was giving one away, wasn't he? No?
So the thing with that is, again, everything I'm going back is the sport shooting is because you start looking for that laser light and you stop looking at your sights or where it needs to go. You're looking for that laser for your confirmation. So I would actually recommend against that just because you're training yourself to look for the wrong thing.
Yeah. Ronald was asking the question, are we talking about handgun only or tactical carbine skills? We're just saying, is it worth it to invest the time and the money into training with the firearms that you have? They can be carbine, they can be handgun. I've done 2 defensive handgun courses in the last 5 years and 1 defensive carbine course. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I had a great time with it, but I mean, they were only about $100-$150, I think. And these were just 4-hour courses that I went to, but I do feel like I learned a lot. I was a lot more confident with the handgun after doing so, and with the carbine after doing so at the AR-15.
Quick question: Was there, going from an AR-15 or the carbine course to a handgun course, was there much difference in drills?
Yeah, the carbine course had a lot more of the angle shooting behind the cutout boards, shooting multiple targets, reloads, dealing with. I mean, a lot of the same basic concepts, with the drills themselves were a lot different. What I did on the first defensive handgun course was mostly on paper shooting. And then they had some dummies set up that we were shooting at, some silhouettes and things like that. So it's similar, but it's not. It was obviously in different parts of the range.
But the skills on each go towards each. So let's say you get a carbine book or a pistol book, whatever skills you have for that carbine or pistol, those skills will transfer. If you get good at a pistol, you will be better at a rifle than if you get really good at a rifle and go to a pistol.
Okay. I recommend doing both if you get a chance. It was a lot of fun for one thing, and you really got. I just totally. And I took my my little Bear Creek over here. I took that, ran it through, and it ran like a champ. And it was. I'm much more comfortable with that thing. I mean, than I was before. I'd only take it to the range a couple times. Did a few range tests with it. I never really actually put it through some serious use. And it really, I mean, there's a lot of things you start to learn to deal with. Barrel heat. Just I didn't have any issues with the gun at all. But there's just a lot of magazine reloads and swapping them out. Just having just your gear set up in general. I mean, that alone is a whole learning experience too. Had to actually work with the holster and work with your magazine holders and. No, it was, definitely good. I highly recommend it. I'm granted that was money, so we're trying to talk about ways to get around that if you don't have to pay for it, or what kind of training can you do. Yesterday's Pomade says the laser light targets are great. The laser is invisible until you pull the trigger. Let's see what else we have here. Go ahead.
Then again, you're looking at confirmation for where the laser hits instead of looking at your sights. Because if you're out there pointing and you pull the trigger and you see where that laser is, you need to be either looking at your sights or looking at the target. You don't need to be looking for a laser.
Okay.
Travis, just don't want to interrupt, but real quick, you've got a couple people waiting in the lobby there.
I see one. I guess I didn't see that down there. Ghost is with us. There we go. There he is. All right, real quick, let's let Ghost Tactical go and join himself. Ghost, I was actually going to talk about your channel as one of the recommendations for some of the best free training instruction out there on YouTube. So, Ghost, you want to say a few kind words, man? What's up, brother?
Oh man, thanks for the invite, and this is a good topic. I enjoy this topic.
Yeah. So what do you think, man? I mean, obviously, you're somebody who makes training videos. You make great videos that people can learn a lot from. I enjoyed doing the Drill of the Month videos that you put out. What are your thoughts about, I mean, just training in general? Should most people try to get out there and get a little bit of training? What are your thoughts on it? I mean, not everybody maybe even know what's out there in terms of training. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, my thing, I'm all about training. I mean, I've got thousands of hours of training in my lifetime, but I'm a training junkie. So this is kind of, you have to enjoy training. But I think that if you're going to, if you're going to be anything besides the person that goes and buys a revolver, puts it in a nightstand, and hope to God I never have to use it, obviously I think still they need training. But if you're going to do anything besides that, I think you need to get some sort of training, whether it's very basic fundamentals, but like Foose, everybody else was saying, Sandy and you were saying, the handling side of firearms is so crucial that in that half a second of life or death, if you're not comfortable with handling the gun, things are going to go tragically wrong. I think if you're going to take the responsibility and carry every day, then I think that you need to go and get a defensive handgun or defensive carbine class. That's going to tell you how to work on, and it's a lot more than just handling the gun and shooting at paper. Sometimes it's learning how to shoot behind cover, and that's a big thing that people don't realize. Shooting behind cover and working on angles and moving from cover to cover, position to position, changing the elevation of where you come out from behind cover rapidly. There's all sorts of things that are going to put you in an advantage. So yeah, I mean, it is tactical stuff, but it's also stuff that's going to save your life.
So I do want to ask you, if a person doesn't have a lot of money to spend on training, they've got a firearm, maybe they got some money for ammo, maybe they got a place where they can go shoot. What do you recommend? Where should a person go? What do you recommend as a place to go for good information on firearms training? I mean, I love your channel. Your channel's great. I absolutely love Ronin Tactics channel. What do you recommend? I mean, you can put it out there. There might be some people you mentioned that other people don't like, but on the other end, it's what they show for content that I like more than the person themselves.
Yeah, and there's going to be, I want to mention someone that everyone knows that I did not get along with, did not like, but, James Yeager over on Tactical Response. He's got some free videos out there. One of the best ones out there is a good friend of mine, Rob Pincus. If you go to personaldefensenetwork.com and look at the ICE training, there are free drills and free videos on the PDN network that people can look at, and they're free. Now you can buy to get the whole catalog, but they're going to give 1 or 2 free videos every month for the person that, like you said, can't afford to. I think it's all about if someone out there who calls himself a valid instructor does not give away some of the secrets to what they're doing for free, then you don't want to go to them, because if they're really sold on what they do, they're going to try to promote their stuff to people that can't make it to the classes.
Yeah.
And I have a question for you, Ghost. Is anything out there magic sauce?
No, absolutely not. I mean, if you look at you take the top 10 firearms instructors, honestly, you take the top 10 firearms instructors in the world, whoever makes that list up, and you go to all 10 of those, 90% is going to be the same. It's a basic gun handling. All that is at that point is different ways of mechanically and technically doing movements, but mostly it's the draw, it's indexing, it's finding that sight picture, that front sight. That is the basis of all firearms training. But I think basically what you're talking about is the instructors. What makes it gold is if your personality jives with that instructor. If they speak and they talk in a manner that you understand and you get more out of it, then that's the instructor for you. It doesn't mean they're a better instructor. It just means that they're better for you,
Yeah. So obviously, YouTube is going to be one of those places to go. For magazines, I really like, what was it? I know it's an NRA publication, but American Rifleman, and I think they also do a handgun magazine. They've always got drills in the month in there too that are written by credible veterans and instructors that do some really, I find those as great places to go. And you can read those back issues online for free. So you can find the drills online for free if you want to. And that's a great place to go to look for information. You don't necessarily have to go to your library to check out books, if you just want to stick with online. So Ghost, you did point something out here that I really like. You had mentioned that if that instructor is willing to give away some of their street secrets, put up some videos that people can learn from, then that's the kind of instructor you should look for. What other qualities should a person look for if they're watching training videos on YouTube? Because that's going to be one of the first places that's going to pop up when you're searching for training videos. It's going to be YouTube, and there could be the top, the most viewed might not necessarily be the people that you should be taking advice from. Or what do you think, man?
There's a lot of people out there that say that certain instructors are better than others because they do this, they do that. And like you said, just because they have a lot of views, they might have a lot of views because they're unsafe. Take Voda, for instance. I would not recommend Voda to anybody, but Voda's got crazy views because the dude's nuts. I mean, I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that swear that James Yeager's staff is unsafe. And I've trained with Yeager, and his staff does things a little unorthodox. I never felt like they were unsafe, but I think that you have to look at, if you're watching videos, I think that what you have to understand is what you're looking for out of that person is their communication skills. Yeah. Do they take the time to not just tell you what to do, but to explain why you're doing that? If you can find an instructor that takes the time to explain, that's who you're looking for, regardless of your view count or whatever. You can find a lot of great instructors locally. And just because they don't have these great big YouTube channels doesn't mean they're not quality instructors. So I think more importantly, it's the communication. If they can communicate well, then that's who you want to go with.
Now, my wife and I went through 2 different concealed carry companies. I went through somebody different than who she went through for her class for concealed carry. And, this guy was the guy that my wife went through. My stand up at SS Pond was really hyping this guy. He's like, man, you got to check his class out. It's pretty cool. And I sat down and talked to him, and I noticed that every time he'd come out there with this concealed carry class, when I'd be out there shooting at the range, he'd have 20, 25 people, every other week taking his concealed carry classes and talking to him. And it was the amount of range time they actually spent with this class was way beyond what I did with who I went through. We just shot the minimum. And, after watching, my wife's like, oh yeah, we went through like 240 rounds. I'm like, wow, for your concealed. I'm like, how many times did you miss? Well, then after she, smacked me, she said, no, we did drills. We did practice, safe handling and shooting. I thought, well, this is pretty cool. And then when he offered some defensive pistol courses, I'm like, oh, I got to check this guy out. And I was really impressed. I mean, the guy's awesome. I mean, that was kind of word of mouth for me is how I found out about this person. He's not on YouTube. He was actually featured in one of my videos one time. Just does stuff locally. And I mean, that's what impressed me the most about him. So I guess a lot of times word of mouth is one way to go. So you really got to be careful if you're watching, getting all excited, watching the videos that you're checking out, like you said with Voda or whatever. I don't know if I've ever seen one of his videos before, to be honest with you.
Yeah, don't.
I mean, somebody might get really into that and not realize that you're not really getting the best training if you do that. Now, again, Jaeger's getting a lot of praise out there on the YouTube chat right now. Liberty's Warrior said he's taken his class 3 times, I think is what you said. You said I've given James Jaeger a lot of money and I can't recommend him enough. Ghost, have you gone through his once or twice through his course?
I've been to 3 of his classes. I've been to fighting pistol, and I've been to fighting carbine and fighting rifle, whatever you want to call it. And then I went to another class that was a different kind of class. It was off the beaten paths. It was not at his place, more of an outdoors kind of a survival type class. But I'm going to go this winter. I'm going to be going to another class that's going to be more of the tourniquets and all of that stuff, emergency stuff. So it's not just firearms he does. So that's just important as anything else. But yeah, I've been through a few of his, and I guess I still don't like everything he does on Facebook, on YouTube, and all that. I don't really care for what he says. I tell you how I judge people is their character, how they treat people, their passion. And Jaeger is with that. I'm gonna say I've thousands of hours of training in my lifetime. He's as good as I've ever been to as far as instruction, passion. He cares about his classes. He cares about his staff. You're gonna leave there and you're gonna feel like you got something out of your money. I cannot recommend James more. I mean, he's great.
So whenever it comes to watching YouTube channels and YouTube videos, don't look at one and go, okay, I want to do this. Look out and go to Jaeger, go to Pincus, go to Stoger, go to JJ, go to that instructor, this instructor. There's so many different instructors out there that do YouTube videos. Go out there, look at 10, 15, 20 of them, and do the 1 or 2 things that each video does. Because if they all do it, it's good. Don't go, okay, your first time down the range, don't have your buddy standing 3 feet away from the target. But if they have you, step and draw, step right or left or which way to draw, or make sure that, you grab the same place on your shirt to really get that shirt up out of the way of your firearm. Well, that's something that all of them will do. Go do that.
Can I interject something here?
Do it. Man.
Stay away from people that call themselves experts.
Amen.
Expert. No one is an expert in this. Everyone is constantly learning.
Mm-hmm.
A few comments popping out here real quick, guys. Screaming Skull Saloon says Mickey Shooch with carry trainer is awesome. Shooch. I gotta be honest, I don't watch a lot of training videos. I wish I did. I tend to watch more gear videos than anything. But if you guys have any you want to throw out there in the chat that you recommend, do it.
Lucas from T-Rex Arms. He's a pretty decent one. He's a little bit of a younger guy, but he does break down what drills he has on his channel. And he does it very slowly, so you can basically copy it at home. You can dry fire. My One of my favorite drills that he does is what he calls the Aimbot Drill. Is you have a couple of targets, all with either numbers or symbols or colors or whatever. As long as you can differentiate between all those different symbols, colors, numbers, whatever, what have you. And he has somebody else call out a number or a letter or a color or what have you. And basically you start out slow and you just work with your partner and get quicker and quicker and quicker. And it helps with target identification and transitions as well.
Okay.
And can I throw a thing out about T-Rex as well? As he does a great job. If you're looking for targets to go to the range with, Lucas has a great catalog on his website that you can print out in 8.5 by 11 sheets of hundreds of targets to go to the range and practice with for free.
That's something I want to get to also is saving money when you actually go to the range, or saving money on this gear that you're going to need, or these targets that you're going to need, because you can really drop a lot of money on targets if you're not careful. So here's a question. So Ghost, I'm going to post this one especially towards you, being somebody who has taken the training. Backwoods 1010 says, Travis, what do you guys think of Active Self-Defense's channel on YouTube? I have watched his channel. I think that it's a guy that has a lot of access to a lot of video footage, who just uses some common sense that understands firearms and is just simply pointing out mistakes that people make. Ghost, have you ever seen his channel before? Active Self-Defense?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure.
Okay, what do you think of what he says about what happens and what you should do or shouldn't do? Is he just pointing out the obvious, or do you think he's giving legit like training information or information on how to avoid certain situations? What do you think about him?
I think that he does do a lot of generic stuff, but once again, we have to, it sounds bad, but you have to almost teach to someone as if you're the only person they're ever going to watch. So if he's the only person someone's ever watched, they don't know those generic things because they haven't watched 17 other people's videos. So yes,
point.
he is very generic. He is very generic, but I don't think that I don't think he's doing a bad job. I just think that I don't know his background, so that doesn't help, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know he does a lot of footage of like Brazil, because they got endless video footage there, and shootout footage, and hijacking and kidnapping footage there and stuff like that. So
quick question: does the background of the person matter?
That's what I was going to ask you: is how important is the credibility? Should that person have military training, or should that person have some sort of combat experience before you can trust them, or can they just simply be an NRA certified instructor and that's good enough? What do you guys think?
No. If they say, if the only thing that they have is an NRA instructor, go find someone else.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. As far as I'm concerned, when I'm looking at instructors, I want to go see who they train with. Any instructor that doesn't go train with other trainers scares me, because they think that they're better than everybody else. You go and talk to the top instructors in the world, and they are constantly going to train with other instructors that they respect. They're trying to learn, and they're trying to up their game. So if anyone just says they're NRA instructor and they don't go have training with other people, I'm really leery about them.
So definitely check out the credibility of the instructor that you're about to give your money to if you're going to be paying for training. Make sure that they see if they have anything posted about their background. Have they done any and I just say military experience, because what they've learned in basics and what they've learned in combat, I mean, that again, it's just a lot of it's just very straightforward military training, but that could also transition over to a lot of good training for your civilian too.
Quick question. I know Ghost is a Marine. How much Marine training from basic is still do you still utilize today? Like
100%. You have to understand that the training that you learn in boot camp and the basic training is mostly handling. It's being safe and handling. And the day that you stop using those skills is the day that you should give someone else your guns, because you should never have one if you're not going to be safe and you don't know how to handle it. So I use that stuff 100% of my life. Absolutely.
Okay. I've never been in the military. All I know is, some of the military that I've shot with has been lackluster in several components and some.
No, you talk like tactics and all of that. That's a whole different issue. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about like just straight up gun handling and stuff. They've been. I know there were other branches of the military. Not
Well, I
Marines,
mean,
so
and I'm not saying the Marines are. I am going to say the Marines are the best. I was kidding. No, but I mean, no matter what branch that you learn from, if they're not teaching you, they have to assume. And a good friend of mine was a drill instructor, and they basically have to assume, like me. I went to the Marine Corps with zero experience with firearms. I literally had probably pulled 5 triggers in my life of a 22 rifle in my lifetime before joining the Marine Corps. So I was a complete newbie when it came to firearms until I was 19 years old in the Marine Corps. So they have to teach them the safety and the handling. If they're not teaching that, then please beg for someone to teach you the right way. Even though you're not supposed to say anything in boot camp, when it comes to firearms handling, you have to be taught the right way. Whether it's now you talk about tactics and you talk about room clearing and you talk about other things,
right.
That's a whole different issue
Right.
because some of that stuff cannot be transferred over into civilian world because you work in 4-man fire teams or something,
Right. Well, the whole reason I asked is there's a guy that I met 2 weeks ago at a pistol match, and he's like, "Yeah, I trained with military and law enforcement, stuff like that." And every time he wasn't engaging someone or a target, he would pull the gun straight back to his chest and point it down, and then he'd start running, and he'd start. I'm like, you're sweeping yourself. No, I'm not. It's right here in front of my hands. I'm like, yeah, but you're moving forward. You're pointing right to your groin every time. It's
that sounds like somebody who's just gotten lazy, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just stuff like that. Make sure if you do like room clearing and stuff like that around your house, just to practice that, and that's something that you should do. Make sure that maybe that is a good time to have a laser coming out of your gun, so you know exactly where your muzzle is as you're going around. So as you're coming around, if you look down and go, "Oh crap, I'm just pointing right at my femoral artery. Maybe I shouldn't have the gun in this spot."
Yeah,
little stuff like that.
Daniel Pfeiffer makes a pretty good point. This is kind of what you guys were talking about. They have what was it here? Military and LE doesn't necessarily equate to self-defense for civilians. Yeah, you definitely want to look at the descriptions of the courses that you want to take and see what the application is supposed to be. Is it room clearing, CQB stuff, or is it just simple self-defense of your home, or is it self-defense when you're on the road? You want to definitely look at the course descriptions and things like that. So, okay, now another question I got for you guys, and AWAG, you might want to chime in on this one, or you were saying about the topic that we're talking about tonight. Targets, range gear to save on, targets to print off. What are some of the best resources out there for printing off targets or different types of drill targets and things like that? So Ghost, you always post your targets for your drill of the month for us to do. We can download the targets from the link that you post, or the link to get the targets themselves. Where are places people can go to get free targets? If we're talking about training on the cheap or training for zero budget, because targets get expensive. I mean, printing them off at home may or may not be expensive depending on your printer. Maybe you can print them off somewhere else, like work, right? But well, maybe you shouldn't do that. But anyway, what do you guys think? Yeah.
I said T-Rex is a great source. He puts a lot of really cool different targets out there for free. I'd say a lot of things that you can do. You can go to the dollar store and for 99 cents get a pack of 100 dessert plates.
Yep.
Or dinner plate, different size of plates. That's really all you need. Is you aim small, you miss small. If you can go out there and get dessert paper plates for 100 of them for $1, that's a great way of doing it.
And if you think about it, a regular size bowl, that's about the size of a heart. That's a head. That's stuff like that. So
paper plates are great targets, even if we're not talking about defense. If we're talking about hunting, you get a 6-inch plate, and if you can hit that at however many 100 yards with your deer rifle, then you're going to hit the kill zone of a deer-sized animal. So paper plates are one of the best things ever for targets.
Kingpin says free targets equals recycle your trash. Hey, there we go. Bottles, right? Filled up the old bottles and plates and containers. I took my my buddy out to my range. He had a deer rifle that he had been modifying and putting together, getting it ready for the fall here. And yeah, we sighted it in on a 33-cent poster board. I like to use that. You know, we got it sighted in at 50 yards. And the thing is, I just use the poster board because you might take, it was the first time you put his optic on the top, never been zeroed. You know, he did a bore sight. He did, you know, some adjustments and stuff. But, you know, you could do 5 or 6 shots and completely miss the paper. It could be off that much. I've had that happen with some of the scopes that I've taken with me out to the range. It's like, God, where are the rounds going? It's like they're bouncing in front of the target. So a nice big poster board for 33 cents from Walmart with a little orange dot on it is what we used to actually, you know, zero it. And then we just covered up those little holes with just some masking tape and then just moved the target out and took it out as far as we needed to. So that was a good place to go. We had also mentioned, was it garage sale signs or the old political signs? You might want to like cover them up with paper. Like People for Congress signs are usually large and sturdy. You can get those for free. So look around for those things. Razor JB says cardboard from dumpsters, plates, Sharpies, and paint creativity goes a long way. And the only reason why I don't use those things on my channel is I just try to have targets that are easier to show up on camera and stuff like that. I use a lot of the reactive targets and a lot of silhouette targets and stuff like that. But if it was just me and I was just going to go out to the range with a box of shells, I would just print off targets or just use plates like you guys are saying. I think that's a good one.
Well, ultimately, obviously this is kind of redundant, but make sure that your stuff is zeroed before you go to train, because if your firearm is off like about an inch at 100 yards, if you're using a rifle, that's still an inch at 100 yards. It could be the difference between hitting or missing. Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now, what I've seemed to like using is scrap cardboard. And basically what I do is I set up a big piece of scrap cardboard at 100 yards, and I put depending on what rifle I'm using, if I'm using something with iron sights, I'll put a 1-inch dot at that 100 yards. And now if I'm using something that's scoped, I'll probably do like either a half or a 1/4-inch dot at that 100 yards. And the bullet holes actually do show up pretty well in the cardboard. So if you can get your hands on a lot of cardboard, I think if you Walmart is a good place, because usually they have like the big industrial sized cardboard boxes that everything comes in, and they're pretty thick cardboard too, so you can actually staple things to them if you have to. So I highly suggest the cardboard.
If you recycle your trash, pick it up off the range.
Yes, do that.
Oh yeah.
Crap. And along with the sighting in, shoot until you have a decent sized group before you start moving your sights. Because if you shoot 2 or 3 and they're, you're at 25 yards and they're 8 inches apart, you still have no idea where that gun's shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whether that's pistol or rifle.
I was reading a magazine article here a while back that said anymore people only take a 3-shot, 5-shot at most group to determine the accuracy of a firearm. But back in the old school days, they were 10-shot groups. Mm-hmm. And you could tell a lot more about the firearm and the shooter both with a 10-shot group.
So whenever I did, again, competition stuff like that, if I want to see where my gun is hitting or where, how I am, I'll take a full mag of 17 and I'll go out there and try to make a jagged hole with that 17 round mag. And you'll start seeing that, the gun will get hot, but you need to know how that gun starts throwing rounds whenever it's warm.
Hey guys, we've got Jim Burgess joining us this evening. Jim, it's been a while, but you're one of the OGs of Caliber Corner. You've been around here for quite a while. So Jim, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, not much. Just hanging in there.
All right. So Jim, tell us a little bit, because you do some shooting competitions and stuff with the AKA Clash Bash. What do you do for training? You post a lot of it. You post a lot of pics on Instagram and stuff. So what works for you?
Gosh, I wish I could say it was cheap or free training, because that would be great. But
yeah.
I've taken a couple of courses, and I actually take another one in November from Ken Allen training. He used to be a SIG master trainer and works out of New Hampshire, but he comes down to Texas every now and then. So I like to hit his classes. He does a pretty good job of bridging AR and AK training, and he's not too tactical for you. I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah,
He's a great trainer, but he's he doesn't necessarily make you feel like you're just some idiot because you're not special forces or something.
Yeah.
And then the one I took in July that was interesting was from Russian Spetsnaz,
God,
who's moved over to training an outfit called Center T, and he definitely specializes in AK training. I got the honor of being the grandpa in that class, so to speak. I was the oldest dude there by 1 year.
Grandpa Jim.
Yes.
I wish does AK-47 Operators Union, does he do any classes? Because he does training. He says he does training with the U.S. military. So I don't know if he's contracted for training with them, because he's ex-Polish soldier, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Yeah. I would love to take one of his classes. That would just be amazing.
He used to. Okay. He used to do classes, I think, but it's been a while since I've heard of him doing that. But the one interesting thing about that Center T class that I put in the side chat was our targets were just IPSC, 18-inch targets, and they went and stapled a piece of paper in the middle of the target with like a 6-inch, maybe 6 to 8 inch circle, but I think it was more like 6 inches. I'm going to stick with that one. Makes it sound better. And he wanted us at whatever range we were at to that target. He wanted us to hit that circle. And when we didn't, the guy spoke very little English. He had a translator to help him deliver his speaking parts. But when you hit outside of that little 6-inch circle, he called it a babushka, which is grandmother.
It's grandmother, yeah.
And I don't know if he was saying, congratulations, you just hit your grandmother, or if you shoot like your grandmother.
Like that. Yeah, that's probably his grandmother, babushka, like a mess up or something.
Babasha.
Babasha.
And if you hit outside that circle, he would make you do push-ups too.
So how many push-ups did you do?
Probably a few more than I wanted.
Man, that's crazy. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was hot too. I probably drank. It was a 2-day class. I probably drank 2 gallons of water plus Gatorade a day.
How you guys train down in Texas when I go down there to visit family, I'm good to go from like the house to the car, and then like an occasional evening walk. I couldn't imagine being out in the middle of the woods in July somewhere in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Good God, man.
But
did you guys start off by zeroing rifles and all that stuff? Did they at least start off with the basics in the course, or was it just
they
all right? Let's do some warm-up drills.
They started off somewhat basic,
okay.
But because they kind of needed to level set everybody, but they expected you both instructors expected you to have some zero,
And so, okay, if you don't mind me asking, approximately how much are we talking about for this course? Couple $100, $700? What? Some of this courses, some of these 2 or 3 day courses run $700-800, if not more.
Yeah, the courses I've taken so far for one day have been a couple $100 plus, your ammo and stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And the 2-day courses were somewhere in the neighborhood of $450.
Oh, okay. Scott P79 says Center T training is legit. I'd like to.
It's very legit.
Play with my AK more.
That dude kicked all of our asses.
So, hey, real quick, do you guys have Clash Bash coming up this spring?
So I think something's going to happen. I don't know what the details are just yet.
Yeah.
I knew that same little crew of people that put on that thing is doing kind of a meet and greet vendor mix up with a machine gun shoot at my shooting range in a couple of weeks.
Where is this at? Because this definitely interests me.
Oh, have you ever watched the videos on Clash Bash?
I've heard of it.
It looks like it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. This one is just kind of an informal, get out and shoot with the AK guys It's going to be in Pinehurst, Texas-ish, near Todd Mission.
Let's see, how many hours is that for me here? I don't know. Well, approximately how much was that then to do last year? Was it like $50 to enter it, or was it $75?
So the Kalash Bash was
just pretty fair.
Yeah, to get it, even if you didn't want to compete, it was like $50 or $60. If you wanted to compete, and that was actually the first formal competition I've ever been in. That one was like $125, I think.
What was the name of the city again?
Pinehurst.
Okay.
It's right outside of Magnolia.
Okay, so I'd be looking at 13 hours and 50 minutes. That's a couple hours more than what it takes me to get to Dallas. Yes, I have a lot of stops when I go to Dallas. Yeah, I see where that's at. Okay, so you guys are a little ways over there.
Actually,
that's northwest of Houston then. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's
up there a ways.
One county up.
I'd probably end up flying.
With your AK?
No. I'd probably just be a spectator.
Jim, I need to borrow an AK from you. Yeah. I would just drive down there.
You can shoot mine.
There you go. Exactly. Say, hey, you fly here, you drive down with me. We'll be good to go.
Cool.
That'll work. We're there, man. When is that? Are they doing that in April or March, or do you know?
So when is the next Kalash Bash? That's probably going to be April-ish.
Okay. I'll have to check my calendar and see what's going on. We'll see. So anyway, getting back to the idea of training and stuff. So Jim, do you have any favorite channels you like to watch for training videos, or what do you do for training on the cheap if you don't want to spend a lot of money? Do you watch any instructional videos or anything like that? Do you have any that you enjoy watching?
My biggest training on the cheap is doing the pistol shoots I always talk about, because it's kind of competition-ish, but the guy who sets them up puts us in different situations, and all of the moving while shooting and reloading while we're doing it, and it's mostly pistol oriented, but it's, you go in there, you throw $10 into the hat, and or $20 if you're not a member of the range, and you do your thing. And it's always there's a mix of accuracy. He doesn't want accuracy by volume, so there's a mix of accuracy, moving while shooting from behind cover, kneeling, offhand shooting, all of those things that and so we coach each other through all of that, and critique each other's performance.
And something on top of that is, whenever you do go through those courses, have someone videotape you, because you may think you're doing something where when in all reality you're doing something totally different, and that could teach you, or that could show you something you need to do at your house during dry fire, so the next time you go out there you fix that.
Right. And it's gotten to the point where I even catch myself like, oh my gosh, I don't have my my stance just sucked in that last run I did, or whatever.
That's, honestly, that's kind of what got me into making some of my YouTube videos. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go shoot at the range. Let's go and just take the camera with and just see how I shoot and see how I actually print on paper and stuff. And then, I got home and I was like, I should just put this up on YouTube. I'll just put a camera on the target and just put the videos up, So it's not a bad idea to definitely. And so Foose, you put a lot of videos up on Facebook? I think when you go through your rounds and stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. I do it on Facebook, but it's just linked to my YouTube channel. I just put my matches up there, and it's okay. I mean, yeah, you can go look at it, but I don't care if anyone looks at it. I have it as a central location that I could access anywhere to be like, hey, I think I may be doing this, or I may be getting better. Let's look for 2 or 3 years ago. Okay, yeah, I am getting better at this. But if you're doing something, you're like, I don't know if I'm doing this right, and go out and Google USPSA. One of the top guys, Ben Silger, Max Michel, JJ Ricaza. There's a ton of them. Tyler Turner. Wansit Kim. Cody Axe and stuff like that go out and they post their major match videos. Imitate them. And,
Now, another thing is most people always focus on the shooting, like the training shooting. If you're a really good shooter, but you suck at reloading, then you're basically on par with everybody else. You know, because if you can't reload quickly, you're not feeding that gun. It's useless to you in that time between you reloading and shooting.
Yeah, this is true.
Again, kind of like what I said earlier, is if you can get a 2.5 second draw down to a second half draw from concealment, or even down to a second draw at concealment. Same with reloading. If you get a 5 second reload down to 2 seconds, that's 3 extra seconds that you will cut off finishing the fight or stage or what have you. That's a lot of time. You don't think 3 seconds is a lot of time, but if you get out and start really shooting, 3 seconds is an eternity.
One of the things that I prefer, just thinking about it, I mean, if it's affordable to do so, to go actually train with an instructor. For people like myself, I don't learn as well reading in a book or even watching on a video as I do, number one, hands-on, and number two, with that instant feedback. If I watch a video and I think I'm doing it right, I might not be, and there's nobody to correct that bad habit. Whereas if I'm right there in front of the instructor and I do something that isn't the way that it's supposed to be done, whether it's stance, whether it's emotion or whatever it is, even just efficiency and movement, a better way to reload or something like that, having that instructor right there saying, hey, this is why I teach what I teach. And again, I know somebody else mentioned this, but if they not only tell you what to do, but they tell you why they tell you to do it that way, and it makes sense, well, there's a reason, there's a method to this madness. I like that, whether that's on a video or face-to-face instruction. But I learn better having the instructor right there. If I have questions, I get them answered right away and all that. It's not always affordable to do so, which is why I've not taken classes like I want to. But that's one of the things I want to do. And that's why, because for me, I'm going to learn it better actually being there at the range with the instructor than I am anything else. And I guess I don't want to open up a can of worms and start an argument. For me, I'm not a competition shooter like Foose is. So the thought of taking a second off my draw stroke time to me is less important than trying to stay out of ever needing to draw it. Same thing with the reload. In my mind, and this is, again, you're listening right now to a guy that's never had formal instruction, but in my mind, smooth is fast, or slow is smooth and smooth is fast. I'd rather be smooth than super fast. If I pull my defensive pistol and if I carry the shield, there's 8 rounds in it, and if I shoot all 8 rounds and the fight's not over, I'm in trouble anyway. So I'm hunting some cover for a reload or anything like that I can do. So also keep in mind, as you're looking at training, train for the situation that you expect to find yourself in. If you are a competition shooter, then you definitely want to train for speedy reloads, speedy draws, things like that, engaging multiple targets. If you carry a pistol simply for defense, then that's the kind of training you need to seek out too, and not only just defense training, but what are the likelihoods of each scenario? One last thing before I shut up here. When it comes to training, it's not just the mechanics. It's not just the shooting and the reloading. A huge step that not a lot of people always think to even seek out is training on decision making. How do you determine whether or not you're justified in drawing your pistol? And that's a whole different classroom, or a whole different class altogether, which is usually in a classroom. But pose certain scenarios. You walk around the corner of the gas station you park on the side of the gas station. You come out around the corner to get to your car, and there's a lady sitting there holding a gun on a guy, face down on the ground, unarmed, and you don't know what's going on.
you don't pull your gun and shoot the lady. You find out what the situation is first. Maybe she just took the gun away from him, and he was, or whatever. Maybe he was trying to mug her and she drew her pistol. We don't know what's happening. So when it comes to training, don't just train to shoot, whether it's defensive or competition or whatever. If you're carrying defensive, you also need to train your mind on how to make decisions and how to do so rapidly. That's the only other thing I would throw out there.
That's a big one, because everything I've been pushing is all about drills and the exercises and going to the range and shooting, but the mental aspect of it too, the thoughts about, what can happen or the potential or making good decisions and choices. That it would be nice if that was another part of a lot of these classes that you might take too. If you don't ever, there's no portion on that, it might be a good idea to maybe kind of look into that yourself or do some research yourself and see what goes through people's minds when they need to make that decision.
I've talked to people before that don't want to carry a concealed gun because they don't think that they could take a life if it came down to it. You know what? Know yourself. Know that about yourself. If you don't think you could kill somebody, then don't carry a gun, because we do not carry defensive guns to hurt somebody. Mm-hmm. We carry them to stop the threat, whatever that means, up to and including, taking a life. We don't want to do it, but at the same time, if you don't think that you could ever shoot somebody, then don't carry the gun. Find a different method of self-defense. Try to stay out of situations, but know yourself too.
G-Wes makes a pretty good point. Or people who never take any training just assume a lot of stuff. So I'm thinking all gun movies or like a karate match at the YMCA. Yeah, when the bullets are whizzing past your head, or there's stuff ricocheting around you, or the gunfire's coming in your direction, it's going to get real really quick. So training discourages all the crazy thoughts and introduces you to reality. That's a good point, G-Webs. Real quick here, we're going to start to kind of move things around just a little bit and shift the discussion just a little bit. Kingpin, we want to get this out here. Bloke's 2 cents. I will put a link to the video. Actually, Kingpin just did that, and I just got the link myself. There is a channel which you guys should check out, Bloke's 2 cents. And in his video, he is doing a fundraiser for a friend, and they are going to be giving away a suppressor in this giveaway. And all the details and stuff are going to be in the link that Kingpin posted there in the chat. And I will also post it here a little bit later on too. So not only are you going to be able to have the opportunity to win a suppressor, I believe it's for a 9mm. Also, they're going to cover the $200 tax stamp, and they're going to be giving away a bulletproof vest or some sort of body armor and a carrying case for the vest. $20 entry fee. It's for a very good cause. Please help out if you can. It's Bloke's got a buddy whose daughter is very ill or was very ill and is dealing with some pretty serious medical bills for what she had. And so they got this all pulled together, and they're going to be doing a suppressor giveaway. So guys, make sure you check out the link that Kingpin just posted, and I will post the link here too. Hopefully it's the same one. Is it the same thing? I don't know. We're going to find out here. They should be fairly close to each other. Let me post the URL here. I want you guys to check it out. I think it's definitely something that you need to look into, because it is for a good cause and you can definitely benefit from it. A lot of these giveaways and stuff, there's not always, unfortunately, a lot of people that that contribute. But anyway, it's one of those things where you can definitely help out to those people that need it. So this is a way to do so. Let's see, checking out, make sure I'm not missing anything here. So, but yeah, all the costs are going to be covered for you, and you don't have to worry about it. And you have an opportunity to help somebody out, which is really good in the gun community. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is hopefully my channel here in the next month or so will hit 20,000 subscribers, and we're going to be giving away a 224 Valkyrie upper, the bipod, and the magazine from Bear Creek Arsenal. I can only send it to states that will allow me to send an upper to you. I think that's all 50 states, but I'm not 100% sure. There might be some jurisdictions. Usually for my giveaways, you just have to leave a comment on the promo video. You don't have to like or subscribe or share or do anything like that. But you have an opportunity to win that also. So I'll make a video on that. And then if you do that, we'll do the video live during an episode of Caliber Corner, and I will ship that to you. And I've not had a lot of rounds put through it, to be honest with you. I've only taken it out once. I'm hoping to take it out a second time. Now that we got some new glass on it, so you have an opportunity to win a 224 Valkyrie upper. What else we got coming up? Next thing I wanted to mention, real quick, Kingpin also said that it's a 9mm up to a 300 blackout suppressor. And that's what you can use that suppressor for, that they're going to be giving away, which is awesome. Obviously, you got to fill out the paperwork. You'll have to go through your FFL in order to receive it. There's probably going to be the wait for the tax stamp, I'm assuming. until you can get that. But still, hey, I'll take one if I can win one. Don't worry about that. Otherwise, let's see what else I'm going to mention. I'd mentioned in the title that we'd give you guys a quick update on the Taurus G3. And there are 2 places that are currently taking pre-sales on the Taurus G3. Kentucky Gun Company is taking pre-sales on it for $229. Now, I don't know what the shipping cost is going to be and what the tax is going to be. You also have to do a transfer fee if you have one through your FFL. And then also Sportsman's Warehouse, if I'm not mistaken, is showing off that handgun for $249. Now, I don't know the exact release date for the pistol, but I did talk to somebody who works for a big chain of stores that sells firearms. And he said that generally it's 30 to 60 days after you start to see them show up on YouTube that the guns show up in the store. And sometimes the manufacturer is just trying to gauge popularity by, the response they're seeing on social media, the number of YouTube views. It really gives them an idea as to how much production they should ramp up or not for a particular firearm. And this guy's gone to trade shows and talked to the companies and stuff like that. So hopefully the G3 will be coming out here pretty soon, which would be really cool. The Taurus G3 pistol, not the HK, just to kind of get differentiate between the two. So, but anyway, I'm trying to see if there's anything I'm missing here. Yeah, so I put that URL out there. I want you guys to definitely make sure you check that out and be watching for my little update here. I'll post a video on Thursday talking about the details of the 224 Valkyrie upper giveaway. But I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to buying a different upper for this lower. So I'm kind of in the market for an upper myself, and I don't know what I'm going to go with. So, Two Live Moose says, "Did you see that PSA has a no bet though stripped lower for pre-order? Too funny." Yeah, I mean I think that's definitely man. PSA, I love that they'll put those out there so quick. It's awesome how they do that. Another upper to add to the collection, right? Okay, so G-Web says, what's the deal with 224 Valk? It's a new caliber, I assume. See, I came out in 2017, G-Webs. Basically, it allows you to use quite a few of the components from your AR-15, and you can get it in an inexpensive upper that will reach out to 1,000 yards. And with the 224 Valkyrie, it's a very, very fast round. But the fact you can get it, the ammunition, the way it was designed and produced by Federal, it was designed so that you can get into it without having to break the bank on the rounds themselves. I get boxes of 20 for, I think, $11 for the 70. Oh, the boxes are upstairs on the table because I'm going to the range here in a day. I think it's a 75 grain, if I'm not mistaken, or 100 grain round. One of the two off the top of my head, I can't remember. I think it's 75 grain. But you can get a box of 20 for 11 or 12 bucks, and it will easily get you into the 1,000-yard club. Obviously, you got to have optics that go along with it. So, and there's a lot of rounds that do that. You can say, well, I can do that with my 308. But a lot of it has to do with being able to use your existing AR equipment. It's basically what a bottlenecked or a modified 6.8 SPC cartridge, but it is a screamer. I had okay accuracy with it, but I wasn't using very good glass. Got a better scope now, so it should shoot a little bit better. So that's kind of the big deal with it. It gets you into the 1,000-yard realm without having to break the bank to get you into it. You can buy yourself a new upper and a scope, and and obviously the magazine, and you can compete. You can use your regular AR pattern lowers, which is nice too. So, all right. So guys, we're going to go ahead and start to wrap it up here. South of the Border Pano says, where's Travis? Who's the baby face? Same mags and stuff. Now, G-Webs, you got to use a 6.8 SPC magazine, if I'm not mistaken. That's the only catch, which was a little bit of a pain to find, just the shorter one that I needed for bench testing. But you can use your AR-15 lower. You got to have obviously your 224 Valkyrie upper. But anything that fits on the Picatinny rail, you can use on that upper also. Let's see, flat shooter then. The drop off. What was it? I want to say it's like 300 yards. It's 12 inches or something like that is your drop off. I have to look at the box. I look at the box ballistics, but now that's for their absolute basic plinking round, is what they call the Federal American Eagle full metal jacket round that they sell. 224 is a reloader's cartridge. Let's see. The Juice says, I think you should stop farting around and treat yourself to an 816 A2 Caracal. That'd be cool. Juice says it represent H and K. Hey, nothing against that, man. I'm all down for that. Let's see here. Am I missing any comments at all? I think we're good to go. So we are going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Ronald Robertson says, time for another hams. I'm sorry, Ronald. We're going to go ahead and call it an episode for tonight. Let's see. Now, Guitar Man Pete says, good to 1,200, but never has enough energy for anything bigger than a whitetail. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can get much more potent rounds than that entry-level full metal jacket stuff that I'm shooting. There's a lot of decent loads that are coming out for it now that make it a viable hunting caliber, but it's just like anything else. I mean, you can get yourself another, upper you could strap on your AR and make it a good hunting rifle too if you wanted to. So, but yeah, I was kind of excited when it came out because it does get you into 1,000 yards on the cheap, which is nice. So, yeah, okay. Now, Guitar Man Pete says yes, the same mags. I don't know if you can use 5.56 magazines. I guess I've never tried. So, so it's a bit heavier than plain old 223 though. Yes, it is. It is. It's either 75 or 100 rounds, or 100 grains is what the bullets basically start at. So. All right, Ronald Robertson says can't shut off a beer. All right, cool, man. So tacos and French fries. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you so much. So real quick, let's let the panel go ahead and put their little plugs in before we go, and we'll do a final check-in to see who was with us on the gun channels and YouTube sides, and we will go from there. So Jim says up to 90 grains from what I've seen. Yeah, 90 to 100 grains or something. I've just been shooting the Full Metal Jacket, plinking ammo. So real quick, so I want to thank everybody that's been on the panel this evening. Ghost Tactical, thanks for jumping in. And AWAG was with us this evening. And let's see who else was gone. Guys, remind me here. Drawing a blank. We had AWAG, Ghost, Gizzard Gary. Gizzard Gary's here too. Well, he's here too. People that Squib was with us for a little while. He was just having some phone issues, so he wasn't able to keep it going. So unfortunately, Caliber Corner, a featured caliber each week. Well, G-Webs, that's not a bad idea. We actually have done that in older episodes. We were kind of getting into featuring some of those new big bore, like the 458 SOCOM or 450 this and 350 Legend. And, hey, not a bad idea. Maybe get back to talking about what we like about 5.56 or 7.62 by 39 and all that fun stuff. So, G-Webs, I like the idea. Thank you very much. Have a featured caliber. All right, so real quick, putting the plugs in here. Gizzard Gary, why don't you go ahead and give us your outro, brother?
Okay. Thanks for the invite. It's a great show, and I'm going to miss the next 6 or 7 because I'm going to be working until 8 o'clock at night. So
okay.
I'm going to miss the show. So I'll have to catch it on the replay.
All right, man.
Anyway, I appreciate the invite. As I said, check out Foul Territory. That's on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. The early bird chat I had been doing on Sunday morning, once again, is going to be affected by my work schedule. So that's going to be on hiatus until probably the middle of November. So I'm sorry, but unless somebody else wants to pick that up and do it, which they're quite welcome to do. But anyway, enjoyed the show, man.
Well, I'm hoping I could be running it on GunTube. I accidentally screwed up by scheduling this through StreamYard earlier, and I thought, well, there's already people that have it waiting in their inbox to watch it. And so I will hopefully do this on GunTube next week. And I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling awful last week. I had an awful head cold and just sore throat and crap. And I'm just like, all right, let's put the episode up. And I wasn't paying attention and accidentally put it up on StreamYard. But hopefully we'll be running GunTube next week too. So make sure you guys do support GunTube over on Indiegogo. Nice Strike's putting together some great stuff for us over there where we can still host our podcast and have a lot of fun and not necessarily have to worry about not necessarily what we say, but not being taken down. So, all right. So Gizzard Gary, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. Jim Burgess, man, any final words, bud, before we go?
Thanks for the invite. Good to drop in and talk with you guys.
Right on, man. Appreciate
I'll tell Gizzard Gary. I'll tell Gizzard Gary, give him the bird.
So it's been about 6 months since I've been able to ask. Did you guys finally get the tiles done in the house?
Oh, hell no. I have 2 rooms left.
It's like the with the crazy horse statue up in South Dakota. There's a conspiracy that it'll never get done because it keeps bringing tourists over there to check the progress on it. You know.
Yep.
That's yeah. Oh man,
we're down to the last 2 rooms. So
I should run down there. You can show me how to do. I always wanted to learn how to do that whole thing. So the whole floor tiling and stuff. But yeah, I might have to do that, man. We might have to chat. We'll have to chat. Get those last 2 rooms hammered out in like a couple hours. So.
Yeah, 2 hours.
2 hours tops, right?
As soon as Travis shows up, we're done.
Dinner will be ready by the time we get done. So there you go. Yep.
Hey guys, Jim?
What's that?
Jim, how's the weather over there?
Oh man, it's hot.
You not getting rained on where you are yet?
Not yet. We're supposed to get some minor tropical disturbance coming in here in the next couple of days, but right now it's just hot and dry. My yard is crispy.
I know, man. We've been cracking 80, 85, Jim. I know how you feel. It gets down. It was 54 degrees the other morning when I got up. That was awesome.
The struggle is real.
I know. We're so ready for winter. Jeez. Yeah, I'll be saying that when it's 0 in February. Hey, Jim. You're like, yeah, it's 60. I got the door open. I'm wearing shorts. Like, you son of a. Yep. Oh, man. I tell you what. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And hopefully have you back soon.
Yeah.
And all right, Sandhill Shooter, man. Any final words before we go, brother?
Again, thanks for the invite and letting me sound off with my 2 cents worth. Everybody can check us out over on Sandhill Shooter channel here on YouTube, or Gunstreamer or GunTube, any of those fun places. Also on Facebook. And hopefully tomorrow night's discussion gets everybody kind of fired up a little bit and thinking a lot. And going to have a couple faces that we don't always have. Rod from NFOA is going to be with us. And I am trying to get the Pew Pew Jew. As long as his schedule works, he said he's going to be in. So I wait to hear back to make sure that tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Central, works for him. So be there or be square.
What was it that Beto O'Rourke said? You're damn right I'm taking you down to the gun store to buy an AK. Or you're damn right I'm taking you down to the gun store to buy an AR. That's what he said,
Hell
right?
yeah, I'm buying you an AK.
Hell yeah, I'm buying you an AK. Hell yeah, I'm buying you an AR. I'm sorry, that's what he said 6 months ago on the radio to the entire American public. Yeah, everybody should have one.
He didn't say that he'd buy it. He just said that if you paid for it, then you can keep it. Now he's like, no, if you've paid for it, then you have to give it up. And I'm thinking, well, so basically I paid money into the government, and he's going to take the money that I've already paid in to buy back my gun that he never owned and give me back some of my own money. That just seems crooked.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's a little draconian if you ask me. That kind of thing didn't turn out too good for the Brits either when when we were over on this side of the pond. So
hey, all of my AKs are stock photos, you know. I don't really own one.
Yeah, no, I just buy them on what's like photo, whatever it was, the photo place.
Photo bucket or whatever.
Photo bucket. Yeah, I just get them off Pinterest, you know.
Mine are plywood cutouts that I've spray painted to look real.
Exactly. They're just those are just all 3D printed airsoft replicas. So all right. Oh, hey, Gizzard Gary posted the link for SS Pawn over there on Facebook. So there you go. Make sure you guys check out SS Pawn. Give Stan a call. He's been loaning me firearms for a long time for the channel, and yeah, it's been awesome to be able to work with him too. So, all right, hey, we're still not done yet. Kingpin's in the house, brother. Kingpin. Hey, man, appreciate you being here, buddy.
Shall not be infringed.
Never be infringed. Real quick, do you want to throw it out one more time about a bloke's 2 cents and his giveaway?
Yeah, thanks for covering that for me. I appreciate it. Everybody, check out the video. The video that the link is to is kind of old. He is going to have an update video coming out soon, but it's the CGS Mod 9 suppressor, which goes from 9mm all the way up to 300 blackout, and the $200 tax stamp is going to be paid. Plus, there's going to be a bulletproof vest. So I don't remember the name, brand, or any of the details to it, but it's a bulletproof vest. It's about a $500 value. It's going to come with its own carrying case. So all of that is included for a $20 donation to the GoFundMe that's in the video link if you watch that video. And you have to email bloke your screen share receipt from GoFundMe or whatever, so that way he can enter you in. Because if you don't email him that, he doesn't know you entered, because he has nothing to do with the GoFundMe. He's just putting on the giveaway. And then if you don't have $20 or you're not interested in a suppressor, $1 is a monumental amount, and it will absolutely be totally appreciated. Bloke wants everybody to know, if you donate $1, email him that screenshot so he can show his appreciation.
Right on. How much time do we have left on that now?
October 2nd is either going to be the day he draws it or the day he ends it.
Okay,
I'm not too sure.
Get in by the end of September, guys, if we're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's his friend's got a 10-year-old daughter that, in a span of 3 hours went from a happy, healthy, normal 10-year-old girl to almost dead. And completely paralyzed. She's definitely on the mend right now, but that family's going to need a little bit of financial help.
Oh, the hospital bills are absolutely insane, man. It's crazy how expensive that stuff can get anymore. It's nuts. So, especially when you're working hard and you don't get your insurance for free. So, All right, man. All right, guys. So, hey, we're going to go ahead and call it. So let's just see who was joining us over on the gun channel side. I did see Mr. White over there on the gun channel side. know if I have any other new comments posted over there, but I've been refreshing that every little while. So let's see. Jim Burgess was also over there. So join us tonight. We've got Flying Ninja Monkeys. Flying Ninja Monkeys, you got to get here sooner, bro. We start at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock East Coast Time. Juice says, who's got a chat tonight? There's a lot of chats going on. Go over to gunchannels.com, and you will be able to see the schedule for the evening. There's a lot of stuff coming up tonight, guys. Gizzard Gary was with us. Jim was with us, and Kingpin. Ronald Robertson, Guitar Man, Pete, Roll Call 219 in the house, Jason Stewart. Vandaliska Vlogs joining in from the land down under, or one of the lands down under. Let's see here. G-Webs was out there. Tacos and French fries. Let's see. South of the Border Panda. Who else do we have joining in here? 2 Live Moo was with us this evening, too. Scott P79. Is that everyone? Unfortunately, the chat one, I don't think it goes all the way back to the beginning. But New York Outcast was with us. Screaming Skull Saloon was watching this evening. Budget Guns and Gear was out there, too. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure that you like or subscribe and be watching for my video on the 20,000 subscribers 224 Valkyrie Upper giveaway. It's going to be a lot of fun. And otherwise, I think that's about it. So come join us next Monday, same time, same channel. Make sure you check us out over on gunchannels.com. You can also find my videos, the replays of these over there on Gunstreamer, UGEtube, guntube.org, Facebook, all those fun places. But in the meantime, guys, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. Y'all take care and have a great Monday night. Make sure you head on over to Never Enough Ammo's show. We've got the Guns and Geeks podcast coming up in about 30 minutes, so make sure you check it out. Adios, Felicia.
Shall not be infringed.
Never be
Give him
infringed.
the bird.
Never be in
Get off
fridge.
my
Never
lawn.
be in fridge. That's right.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye, Alicia and Felicia. I love you both. Adios.
Watch out.
Adios.